I know that story. Might
So
not
they,
have been that
I
one,
think
but
they own the Harmony Park.
Third stone from the sun.
Yes.
I remember that.
Guys.
What up, posse?
What up, everybody?
We have some guests in here, obviously. Surprise, we already started.
Haha, surprise.
Oh, no.
Starting to my left is Mark and Lisa, Dan. My name is Chad, and who are you again?
I'm Brandon.
Brandon. We've got some great
the
guests. We've got Dan Wellendorf back in from Modist Brewing down in the west. No, what is it? The North Loop.
North Loop. Yeah.
The North Loop. My bad. And he is doing a D. You guys are both together doing a D&D event down at Modist this weekend, and you're putting a beer around it. But I was just hearing you guys say that somebody was getting their dice
Died.
dyed. What?
Girl I work with, Elise, she gets her dice dyed, or she dyes them.
And you're saying that somebody's getting their dice blessed.
Yeah, one of our Modist makers, which is our beer drinking club, they're taking their dye down to Lake Geneva to get it blessed at the memorial of Gary Gygax, the creator of the Dungeons & Dragons.
Yep.
Now, Brandon is our resident D&D dude. That's bigger than you, dude.
I'm not.
That's impressive.
I'm not there. Right? I'm not there yet.
That's impressive.
That is.
I'm
impressive.
good. I'm like,
We'll get there, man.
yeah, right. I'm
What the hell, Brandon?
Get your
I'm a
track shoes on,
non-practicing
Brandon.
Gygax.
So I'm just going to quickly go through the whole idea and concept is basically that you're doing a D&D game, a big D&D game, and you're doing beer around it. So you're basically, like we had talked last time you were in here, you're doing a concept around a beer, or a beer around a concept, not the other way around like most people do.
Yep. So the long story short is that Jeremy Messersmith, who's a local musician, sent me a random email like last July or something like that. He had played a short set at Modist one time a couple of years ago, and we had mutual friends. So he had this idea of creating a beer that was super low alcohol that you could play during a longer D&D session that wasn't going to get you that hammered. So
I
you
love
drink
that
a
idea.
lot of them.
That's a great idea.
And then
It was a real
his
problem.
kind of, so him and his D&D group came in, we just met and started talking through, like, everything we could pull off, and we landed on a concept, which is Tabletop Session, which is a sessionable beer, and is wrapped in role-playing adventures, so the labels kind of have different characters, and it leads you to a campaign that's stored on a website online.
Wow. Have you ever heard anybody do this yet? I've never heard anybody do this.
No.
I
Is
just
it-
my Google Flu is pretty decent, and I couldn't find
Yeah,
one. So
Is
I
it
did
in a
the same
3-pack,
thing.
did you say?
No, it's a 4-pack.
It is going to be a 4-pack.
It's
Okay.
a 4-pack, which we unfortunately don't have yet because it's getting labeled tomorrow morning.
But you got
and
some
packaged
pictures that you...
Yep.
Well, the one thing that Modist Brewing is known for is really their artistic. They have a real big artistic value when it comes to when they do canning and bottling. I would know that because I'm on one of their labels.
Yeah.
But there it is. So who designed these? Who came with these decisions on the design?
well, we designed
These are cool.
Yeah, our D&D team designed the characters, and then one of our members is Courtney Thomas, who is a local illustrator under Steak and Unicorns. That's her professional name. And so she did all the art with lots of moral support on our end because we were like, it's really great. It's really, really great.
Looks great.
Yeah, so she did all the art, and then Jason, who is the fourth member of our team, did all the graphic layout for all the character sheet information, which if you turned these cans around is on the other side. It's basically like a simplified character sheet for each of them.
What is the alcohol content that you came up with?
4.5.
4.5, which is pretty low for you.
Yeah, we play with getting it lower, but we felt like it still needed to be a beer also.
Andy, our other engineer, said he's sorry he couldn't make it because he was really excited to. So
This is the character sheet that they were talking about.
What kind of a beer is this?
So it's a New England IPA is what we're calling it. It's basically just a hazy session IPA, so lower alcohol. We tried to pull some motivation or inspiration from the D&D world. We made it with honey, which is a really classic brewing ingredient. The way that we use it, most of the sugar ferments out, so it just becomes alcohol. So it doesn't. It's not going to taste necessarily like honey, but the honey is part of that 4.5%.
Okay.
I like this quote right here. I hate rainbows. the halfling rogue, chaotic good.
Yeah. Each of the characters have quotes that we were hoping would let people who aren't used to doing roleplay adventures, give them like a touch point.
Oh, okay.
Like a character level touch point, not just a mechanical one,
Yeah.
but
Right.
like his whole vibe is that he just seethes with generic rage.
Oh,
He's
okay.
just like a Hot Topic
Okay.
goth all day.
Oh man.
Yeah. So anyways,
He's like,
yeah,
I have
and
my
he hates
look how many
rainbows.
zippers I have on
Yeah.
my jeans.
Yeah, Courtney was like, what would this person wear? And I'm like, belts. Like shirts made of belts.
Like Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, like platform boots that like lace up real high and like shirts made of belts.
Camel,
and she's
camel
like,
lights.
Let's
I
look
get
at him.
it. Yeah.
Random scroll over to his being.
He ended up being a little bit more
yeah,
fantasy-ish
yeah,
than that,
let's
but like
see.
Hot Topic goth was definitely
Yeah.
our
There you go.
culture
Yeah,
as
Hot
a
job.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sweet daggers.
He's like,
Yeah.
how can I help you?
Oh yeah, his daggers are named, I think, Beauty and Boredom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
That is
cool.
awesome.
Cool.
That is really neat. I love the orange with it. It's got a real dark feel to it, man. That orange on that tabletop session. You guys, I am always impressed with the art that you guys do. What's the other
Pull
one?
Another one up.
Yeah. What's the? Are they all the same content? Alcohol.
It's all the same beer. Yep, and then there's just four different characters.
Okay.
And then look at the, what is this, the druid or
This,
Oh, he's the wizard.
Oh,
The
okay.
wizard.
Yeah.
Go to the one that has or flip your phone, Brandon. We're living on.
Yeah, flip
Oh,
it, B.
yeah.
There you
Sorry, I
go.
keep forgetting. I was like, oh no.
Time is just.
I got to play
Like a
test him.
construct,
There's
you know.
also a rumor on the street that he might be a little bit based on yours truly.
Oh,
It's not just a
Really?
rumor.
Okay.
It's not just a
Oh.
rumor. Yeah.
But so I got to play test as him, and I was just a stoned wizard.
So
It
that
was
technically
pretty
is you then.
Do
fun.
you
Stoned wizard?
do
yeah.
you have
I
a
like
forest
this.
green wizard robe?
Yeah.
Staff
You
ball.
do,
My,
don't you?
my wizard robe
Yeah.
is white, but it's all pretend.
Not the bees.
Yeah, not the bees is a surprisingly kick-ass move. So on the character sheets, you'll notice too, we used a lot more like iconography than the abbreviations for different stat points for stuff, to try to make that just like a little bit more user-friendly. And there's less types of stats per person, which is also like more simplified. So if you scroll up a little bit or like
Right
scan up a
there?
little bit, yeah, you'll see there's like, it's basically agility, strength, wisdom or insight, and charisma, and that's like the only stats. There's no like.
Okay, and they have your life and then armor class?
Yeah, so 35 hit points, 12 armor class, is how that translates to like a 5th edition kind of rule set. Am I being too nerdy?
No, you're in the right
yeah,
place,
yeah.
girl.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I was
you
like, am I
definitely-
reading
Yeah,
this
we are
wrong?
not,
I
we are
okay, cool.
nerds.
But
We-
also one of the cool things about the project is for people who are just getting introduced to D&D like myself, it's a very pared down. So like the way it was sold to me is you could go and get a 4-pack and you can begin and end the campaign within
By the
a
time
couple
you
hours.
drink
Yeah.
2 to 3 hours.
So every time we've play tested it, it's been 2 hours or less for a team
Oh,
to get
wow.
through it, and that was really on purpose. That it was supposed to be like a real evening, like an evening with some chit chat and snacking and and drinking and like be done with it.
Yep.
So it's really a good intro for beginners. But am I
Yeah.
to say when you say leveling the playing field, like everybody kind of starts out the same
Yeah.
way, right?
Yeah.
And you have one of 4 characters that you can.
Yeah.
That must have been the hardest thing, is to figure out which 4 characters you guys wanted to do.
That was, well, we knew we wanted to have characters that were clearly different from each other in play style and in tone. And I think when D&D, I mean, there's whole books, like whole player books for D&D about how to make a character, which, like, I'm dorky and I like doing that and it's fun. But that is a whole evening in itself and isn't really the point. So we wanted them to be really distinct from each other, and we wanted their play styles to be really clear. Like, the wizard doesn't play like a rogue. Like,
Okay.
the
I'm
warrior
gonna sneak.
doesn't play like the bard, right? And they're all fun and they're all straightforward, but they are super different from each other. The other thing is we wanted it to be a good entry point for people who had never been a DM before and wanted something that was like a little bit gentler.
It's very overwhelming to be a DM.
It's so scary.
like,
You're
good
like,
luck.
oh my gosh, I am the boss of like,
I had
and
God
any
complex.
of you
you're like-
weirdos can do anything.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to build in a lot of safety nets for the DMs as well, and let it be a really straightforward, really easy entry point for people who were like curious about trying out being a DM but didn't want to pick up, you know, the Minds of Fandelver and like
And
Give it a go.
And well, from a DM's
God.
perspective, it's kind of nice that you've only got one of 4 characters to deal with too.
Yeah.
So it is kind of a nice intro all across on both sides.
I like this bard.
Nice intro.
Broke off from her duo.
Yeah.
Gonna
This
make
is
it
a-
big.
Yep.
You know, coming from where we talked about this last October, November, or whatever, and you're like, I think I'm gonna do it sometime in the dead time of the winter, February. Here we are.
Yeah.
You are like the man at putting this together.
I had a lot of help on this one.
This is
It's
awesome.
It's always weird to like talk about something. I think we sat down in July or August. Wasn't that the first time? And and then it's just just to see it become alive. And we have custom D&D die.
I know.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Custom Modist D20.
This is great.
I don't know.
There's literally the Modist logo on there. There you go, Marky Mark. I was gonna say do you have like the way that you guys have it set up, because you have multiple DMs obviously trying out, do you have like an overall DM
Such a nice-
overseer that's gonna sort of...
Oh yeah. Well, for the event, we've got some stuff that's like a little. You can totally buy this in the store and play it. We even put in a Spotify playlist in the DM stuff, so that you
nice.
so that you have
I
a
like
playlist that's like tonally
Here's the
appropriate
fighting.
for the campaign, so you don't even have to think about that. But for the actual event that we're doing on Sunday, Jeremy is going to collectively DM everyone who's there.
Okay.
Through there's like a first chunk of the campaign that we kind of designed for that.
Okay.
And so there's some like group adventuring and some group dice throwing, and then
You
everyone
guys
can kind
should
of go
send
off
some
on their way.
footage. We can talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, we'd
After it happens.
love to have...
I think it's going to be funny. He does very funny voices too, so
He's really good.
yeah,
He's
he
really
is.
good.
You know,
It was
I wonder-
really fun to watch them play. He DM'd their play
Are you going to make an appearance, Dan? Is your character?
Oh,
You got
You
it.
should come
You
and
got to
quiz.
think.
Yeah,
You got to
I'll
think.
be there.
I wonder which character he's going to be.
So for the
You
experienced
don't know me.
D&D people, what is your favorite like class and race to play when you're building
Me?
a character? Yeah.
If I'm building a character from scratch,
Yeah.
I try to not play rogues because I always play rogues. So rogue is probably the answer for that because I have a tendency.
Yeah, favorite, like, not
I
just,
have a
like, the
tendency
one
to
you
like
rehash,
usually
but-
play rogues.
Assassin
or
or
warlocks.
thief?
Assassins.
Yes.
I do love assassins.
You get that automatic crit.
I like
So
to deal hit points.
Yes.
I really, really do, and I feel like I would be a better person if I was more interested in other parts of gameplay, but I'm not. I want to roll
want
for
that
damage.
loot,
I
yeah.
want to roll for
You want
damage.
to assassinate.
Even after the DM's like, oh, he's dead. No.
No.
I need to roll these dice. I got a crit, okay?
Yeah.
And it crit
Yeah.
sneak attack damage.
Yeah. Yeah. So probably I usually end up playing
And what
rogues.
about like halfling or elf?
I am far more divergent race
Half-orc?
ways, but I always
Half-orc
play.
girl?
I always
There you
play
go.
a woman. I
Okay.
always play a woman.
Are you ready for all of this Sunday? This is what you're going to get, buddy. This is on. I love this.
I had a-
I'm
I've been
coming by
playing-
with a
but I have been
GoPro.
playing Asteroid when we've play tested this.
Oh, okay.
I love playing
a
Asteroid.
lawful good.
Yeah.
You like a good like or like
She's
a chaotic.
like I normally play chaotic, but in these shorter sessions, I can like hold up the like
Yeah.
She-Ra vibe for
Just-
like an hour and a half. She's
Yeah.
basically She-Ra all day,
Okay.
every day, where she's just like
Justice is my reward. There we
so
go.
stubbornly righteous. I love it.
Let's go. Let's see the other one.
See what it looks like.
Yeah.
We
I
should
wanna-
make
Last
a,
one. Look at it.
That's what I... Yeah,
love her.
there. Look at that.
we should make a follow-up critical version of this IPA.
You should have, like-
That's like
should have, like,
11%. Yeah, that's like,
But
Beer,
yeah, all those are like
more.
you have to find them in the 4-pack, and it's like only a couple, and be like, hey, like this one has like
One of
this one will
them.
get you messed up.
Put a clock on the table session
yeah.
and see what lasts longer, the 11% or the actual
Oh,
game.
man.
I love the... I was going to give these to you because every time we come in, we have a guest. I was going to give these to you guys, but you one-upped me on
Not
these.
interested.
That's okay. These aren't leaving the studio. These are cool. What do you got here, man?
These are a couple of things that we've recently released.
Mark, you
that
wanna-
one is Barrel Aged Ice Cream Grin. It is a barrel aged pecan praline barley wine. It just tastes like melted praline ice cream
Barley wine.
that is infused with a lot of beer.
Whoa.
He looks like a scratch and sniff that I used to have back in the day. He does.
Really?
I love that
Yeah.
smell. It looks like an ice cream shop.
We are.
Yeah.
I shouldn't divulge this, but I am exploring
Oh,
scratch
no.
and sniff beer tables.
Yes!
Whoa! Breaking news, everybody.
Heard it here
Have you noticed you
Wait,
and I
wait,
think
wait.
a lot alike and just
that is
about
true.
everything that we do?
Gotta say patent pending.
Raspberry end layer.
So that's a fruited goes. It's just 1,700 pounds of tart raspberries in a beer with a touch of sea salt.
That sounds so good.
It's so good. That beer is amazing.
That sounds amazing. I'm gonna try that.
And then the last one there is Future Pixels. It's double draft, double IPA. Another New England style beer that is just tastes like juice.
I like that.
We were
glass of
talking
juice.
about you guys at work and your New Year's resolutions. One of the things that was funny is like we will not put out a seltzer.
Yeah. yeah. We put out a list of that. Actually, got a lot of play online. Someone
I'm
put
sure,
it on
yeah.
Beer People and the Growler Mag. We put an ad out that was just 31 things that we plan on doing this year, and one of them was don't make a seltzer. Even though I like seltzer, I mean,
Oh, dude, man, some of the beers and ideas that you guys come up with really amaze me. The one that you did with the virtual memory, the virtual reality.
That was cool. The last time when he was here.
What was the name of that again?
Haptic.
Haptic.
Yep.
That was really good.
Yeah, that was a cool project. We're gonna do something else like
Our other engineer Andy, like he literally stole the ones that you brought over and brought them to his dad. He was like, "You got to try this. It's really, really good." So this is Sunday, Andy. What's up, Andy? So this is Sunday. What time does it start? The initial one.
Noon. Doors open at noon.
noon.
The first group play will be a group session will start at 1.
Okay. And so the group one starts. What time do you expect the second one? Is the second one to be? What's going to be the difference as far as the play? Can people stick around for the 2nd one too?
They can, but we're just gonna start everybody off the same way and
Because
let
the
it do
beer
it.
isn't that alcoholic, so
It's
they
True.
might
You
want
can
to.
hang out
You
for
can
a
keep
while.
playing. You can keep playing.
Yeah, I've heard some people say that they're gonna come play their like regular campaigns too with their like
Oh, yeah,
5e
that's awesome.
characters. And like I'm not opposed to any kind of nerdy that wants to show up
Yeah,
and hang out.
that's
so.
awesome.
No nerds.
Yeah, no, all the nerds.
Right?
Very nerd.
Well, I'm going to
obsessive.
definitely
All the
come
nerds you
down
can,
there.
yeah.
Do you mind if I
Yeah,
bring
right.
the GoPro?
Yeah, please do.
Oh, cool. And then will you come back afterwards and we'll talk about it and do a walkthrough?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Sweet. Well, it was really nice to meet you,
Nice
Lisa.
to meet you
Yeah,
too.
it was really cool.
And I will definitely be there. Unfortunately, B is going to be out of town.
We'll be out of
We have a swap. Yeah, I know.
Calendar straight, bro.
We're going to have a busy Sunday.
Yeah.
We have a swap from 9 to 3. So after our swap, we're going to come down there. We'll tell people to come down, obviously, and come check it out. Because that'll be a fun day.
Yeah.
And it's going to be nice out, too.
Supposed to be 30s. and
Yeah, 30s. It's going to be really nice.
Heat wave.
Wow.
I know. For February.
Very busy day on Sunday. There's a lot going on.
It's going to be fun, man. Well, again, thank you guys for coming in. You guys are welcome back anytime.
For sure. Thanks for
always a
being
pleasure.
here.
All right, guys.
All right, peace out.
Peace.
Thank you.
Look at that. That's so